Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us this afternoon on the Miami Unlocked podcast. And I'm here with Robert Montoya, my co-host, and we are being joined by Jafet Perez, an inspiring actor growing up in the ranks and currently featured in 50 Cent's new series. I'm not sure what the name is. Jafet, how you doing? Can you give us a little bit of light on that series and introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Jafet Perez. I'm 35 years old. I was raised in pretty much Harlem, New York, East Harlem, New York City, concrete jungle. Acting's been part of my life for the past 5-6 years only. I think I kind of grasped it in a very short time by approaching it in a conventional way. In a very conventional way, and not trying to be something that is like always trying like sensationalized, so to speak. You know, just to say you're this or you're that, so you can be accepted by certain people or certain kind, whatever.
Right, not like using it as a title. It's something that you do.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, you know, the type of acting that I bring to the table, I'm not a comedian, you know? I'm not a comedian, so to speak. A lot of people, they start off acting with comedy because it's something who they naturally are, like they naturally are funny. So they approach it in that way, which is perfectly fine, whichever way you could use your platform.
But that's a common vein that people go for, is the comedy.
It's becoming very common. It's becoming like a sort of like a way to get in through the door, you know, to get through.
Interesting.
And it's nothing wrong with it, because that's whatever floats your boat, you know. It's okay.
Right.
That's what you do.
Right.
But the whole, you know, the theatric side of acting and the dramatic side of acting, it's different. It's super different. It's very different, actually, because comedy is so much about timing, you know, because there's a time and place to be funny, you know, and there's a time.
Right.
That plays a part into that also.
And what is your focus when it comes to acting? Like, what drives you towards it, and what do you think you want to accomplish in that field?
I don't know. I guess most of us are musically inclined. Also, you know, musically inclined helps out with that a little bit. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be active musically inclined, but it does help you a little bit.
It like diversifies you.
Yeah, and with me, I was around the people. I was around somebody, a mentor. You could say you need a mentor. You need somebody that you can go under, and it has to be also kind of specific mentors. The mentors that I was with around, they knew a lot more than me about acting, about film, about TV, and I just decided that, you know what, I think this is something that I can do. You know, this is something I can pursue. I really think this is. I didn't want to be a funny guy, though. You know, I didn't want to be that type of guy. That's not who I wanted to be. So, you know, Albert, we've always been around funny people, you know. Or really talented. Some people really don't. It's not something that they're trying to do to be funny. They're just naturally funny.
Right.
And that's. I knew that wasn't me. You know, I knew that I'm not that kind of funny.
Which is very crucial, because that's like you understanding that what's best for you is to play to your uniqueness and your strength, and not trying to be something that you're not, you know, that you don't enjoy. You know.
Your strength is very important in this business.
What do you think is your strength when it comes to acting?
Well, when I took classes, when I went to acting class with my teacher, I noticed that my monologues were more powerful than my dialogue. You know, I noticed that I can like I can bring I could bring attention into the camera. Like the camera, I could bring that attention by holding a certain type of mannerism in me, like holding a certain way, certain way, specific way how I talk, and specific way how my body movement is. You know, sort of like, listen, I have something to say, and you need to listen to me right now, all ears. You know what I mean? So instead of me playing off somebody that I'm waiting for them to finish speaking, and then I start speaking, and then we play off like that. That wasn't one of my super strengths, more. I got just a piece of paper. I just got she was giving us just a piece of paper, and you just take that home and you memorize. You bring it back in 2-3 days, and you better have it memorized. You know.
That's audition.
And yeah, and those are co-readings. Those are things called co-readings too, which is there's so much elements into the acting, because it's like public speaking. There's public speaking that's involved. There's confidence that's involved. There's timing. There's beats. There's not. You have to let the person. You have to let the person understand what you're trying to say. So that takes time for them to try to understand that also. And you can't just keep going and the person is not asking no questions and is not understanding what you're saying. You're talking to yourself only, you know? Mm-hmm. Those are all things. Those are all things that are just normal parts, things of life too. These are just things, quality of life that a human being does. Like normally,
right.
People have when they conversing with somebody. So that played a part into it also.
And I wanted to ask you, what do you think about your progress? Like, you know, the show that you're on with 50 now, like that you did that part from, what is that called?
For Life?
For Life. Okay. Yeah. So how did you get to that?
Oh, that was a blessing. That was a very blessing, because when I got into For Life, the first day I got onto set, it was also 50 Cent's first day on set. Actually, it was his first day on set. So I got to do the scene that wasn't shown, but I got to do the scene with him. There was only me and him in the correction bus.
Wow.
It was, bro. This was one of the biggest moments of my life, and I was played the correction officer, and I was the one that took the handcuffs off his wrist. And when he came in the bus, he was shackled down to his feet, right? Mm-hmm. And I was already placed. I was placed in the correction
in the corridor, right?
Yeah, in the back
of the bus. Yeah.
There's a door in the back, right?
Right.
But so I was placed there. And then when 50 walks in the bus, I will walk towards him, and I would take off the handcuffs off his wrists and off his leg, off his shackles, off his feet. I take off the shackles off his feet. And then there was a little, then I'll stand there and tell him to stay still, make sure he doesn't run out, because I took the handcuffs off.
Right. So you had a few lines.
Yeah, and then that was it. But that unfortunately, that scene didn't get freaking used, bro. So I was a little bit. It's part of the game, though.
No, it's all right. But at least you seen that you're already there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're already there. All you need to do is like be prepared for the next one, and then you make sure you're on. You know, it's just all this is that happened is an experience for you to study. So at the next time it happens, you ace that shit, and next thing you know, it just starts rolling. But you're already in that process, so you already know it's all about being patient. It's all about looking at it as a student more so than like as an ego thing, which I think most people go after things from an ego perspective as opposed to like a purpose and trying to really master what you're doing. And Robert, I think he exemplifies that when it comes to what he does with the digital space and with his understanding of that business. And our camera guy Josie, he does the same thing, you know. And I think it's just about having that young, raw passion, like that real raw, genuine, like unfluffed passion for what it is that you really are interested in. And I think if it's something that you really love, you're willing to be patient. And as long as you're willing to be patient, something's gonna happen, you know?
If you do what you love, you're doing what you're intended to do. So therefore I will help you. You're doing what you're intended to do. Therefore I will help you. Therefore I will help you.
Okay.
I mean, that's like the same thing with when we came here to Florida. You know, when we were in Las Vegas, I was in the same way. I was aspiring to want to become an entrepreneur, a business owner, do something great, and just keep scaling it, but do something good for others. So like in my line of work in the digital space, I was helping businesses scale up their business, and it was like, man, I'm really helping companies put out jobs, create jobs, you know. And then, but it got me to the point where I came here to Miami, have a second location, and it's like, okay, this is my lifeblood now. You know, just like being an aspiring actor, you're doing that when you're doing something else because you know I got this. It is like second nature. And once it becomes second nature, then it becomes that lifeblood, and that's what you're meant to do. And every day I feel great. I feel great trying to help other people out, trying to bring people together and meet new people here in Miami. And it's been amazing. So I congratulate you for, you know, getting on that roll with 50 Cent. That is amazing, first of all. So tell me, going further from here, like getting into other film or photography or anything like that, how do you put yourself out there and how do you prepare for that?
You know, it's interesting you say that because it's like, it's so hard when you don't have friends or family who are not doing those type of things. How in the world are you going to like get in the mix? You know, you know, because I think about all the shit that I was doing in my life. It wasn't that hard because majority of the people I know were doing it. You know, they were calling, they you know, hollering at chicks, they were getting clothes, they would like that stuff was second nature in a way. You know, like it kind of was.
That's 100.
Yeah, for real, bro.
You can't be a Harlem. You ain't got a pair of Uptowns. You ain't got a pair of Jordans. You ain't shit, nigga.
Like for real. But it's easy to be the shit because the friends that you know,
right,
they teach you. They teaching you how to be the shit. You know, how to be into that type of be looked in that type of way. So for me, like I said, I found somebody who I bumped into somebody that I wouldn't, probably when I was younger, I probably wouldn't listen to or wouldn't. I don't think I would have gave the time of day to. But my open mindedness and my ego, I wasn't ego tripping, you know. I kind of just listened and I was like, yo, this person kind of knows more than me, and I didn't know the whole shit, all the stuff that he knew, but it was enough to attract me to be like, all right, let me just be around this for a little bit.
Well, because you were being open-minded, you recognize like this is a different kind of door than the usual doors that I meet, and then you actually opened it.
Now, mind you, a lot of people know the guy, and some people just walk right past it, like it's not a big, like it's nothing, like it's you know, like it's your average Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like it's your average Joe. But when you start noticing, like, yo, like, wow, like this, you know, this person kind of it's not your average Joe, and you kind of learn from it. It's contagious, you know? It's very contagious. So that's how my journey started. He kind of took me under the wing and kind of taught me pretty much everything that I need to know, a lot of stuff I need to know, you know? Then I started taking the classes. I think the classes is what now that it gave me the confidence that I don't need nobody, you know? Like you always need people to trust, and you always need help and stuff. But, you know, for the most part, it's your journey, you know? It's your journey.
You got to do the work.
You got to fucking do the work, yo.
There's no way around it.
There's no, that's just 100% true.
But you know, you know people, you know, especially like the generation ours and then going even younger, you know that they don't want to put in the work. They want something as quick as typing in Google. You know, it's not going to happen that way, especially not something that's going to be, you know, sustainable for a long time, you know?
Right. It takes a lot of work too.
That, you know what they want? They want that instant,
Instant gratification.
That's what it is. That instant, you know, as a kids, we have to learn, but we're programmed and we're conditioned for instant gratification by money. There's always $1. You always, and also being hungry. Like every time we're hungry, we get something to eat right away. There's no wait. There's no investment in hunger. You know what I mean? It's just you're hungry, you eat right away. So those are some of the things that we kind of get lost. And then you start learning that things take time, you know?
Yeah.
To get to where you want to get to in life.
Yeah, definitely. Just like what AJ was saying to me the other day, 10,000 hours. You put in 10,000 hours into anything that you do, and then you have mastered that. And then you could take that to another level.
Not even 10,000, it's 10,000 hours, but it's like if you love to do it, I feel like that.
Yeah.
You keep going. But I was just saying, that's just the point. Like that's like the first test basically of loving something, right? Like look at the NBA players. I tell this to people all the time. Look at NBA players. You got guys like AI, Giannis, LeBron, Chris Paul, Steve Nash. I mean, the list goes on. But the all-stars, the reason why they're all-stars is because not only did they do the 10,000 hours, but after that, the 10,000 hours is the fundamentals. Once you got the fundamentals mastered, now you add your sauce. You understand? That's how they move different on the court. Because you get a lot of guys that move generic too. You know, dribble, pass. Even their shot is like, it's very generic. You know, it looks like straight out of basketball camp. You know? So, like, look at you now. You in 6 years. Look at how much work you put in. And look how far you are. You know what I'm saying? And it's like something that's not guaranteed. But you're progressing, you know? Like, you're taking that bet on yourself. So no one can ever, you know, even if someone came up to you and said, like, critiqued you on what you're doing, like, no one can ever take that away from you, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're putting yourself on the line. You're not like, oh, I need to actually get something for sure. You know, it's like you're actually living to your potential. And we respect people like that. You know what I'm saying? We try to surround ourselves with people like that because people like that, when they're around you, they prove to you that it's possible. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's no people who a lot of people don't see that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't understand your language. They don't understand how you behave. They don't understand that you can't always be available all the time for what they want to do, or even if it's something that is even qualitative at that, in terms of like the activities they want to do. Because most people, the activities they want to do with you are not qualitative. They want to smoke, they want to drink, they want to go club, they want to, you know, chill with girls and all that. That's cool to do too. You gotta have that balance in there, but you gotta have also the development. You gotta have that where you're building that intellect, that awareness, you know, to like what happens in the world, not just what happens in your life, you know. And I feel like people's minds, they're so small that when they see like you right now, like look at how you dress now versus how you used to dress before, like people don't understand. That's just part of growth. You're not gonna be a 78-year-old man wearing freaking Marc Ecko or wearing a Nietzsche or Rocawear. I mean, you can, but it's like you don't want more for yourself. You don't want better for yourself. You know, it's like the same concept of like niggas is like, yo, this is my block. You don't own the real estate here, bro. It's nobody's block. You're just passing through. And when you die, someone else is gonna be on this block. And when that person dies, someone else. It's just linear.
It's just ignorance, yo. It's a lot of ignorance, yo.
What's the vibe like in Harlem?
Like, well, like this is like the 11th day, 11th or 12th straight day of straight protesting. Every day, like at night, there's an announcement for the next day, where we're gonna start at, and at what time and location and stuff. So it's been today they uplifted the curfew. We had a curfew at 8 o'clock today. The last day was supposed to be, they got rid of it because there's been a lot of peaceful protesting going on in the past 2 days, 2-3 days. You haven't had any. So it's
no
just
incidents.
Yeah, now no incidents. A lot, none of that stuff. The looting is going on, but that kind of stopped. Now it's like I think people starting to come more together and starting to be like, yo, listen, if we really just protest, things will change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But now here's my question. Like, so here's the thing. People, me and Rob we were talking about this, and I actually want to give you the floor for you to kind of go into it, because you know my perspective. And for me, like I said, protesting is protested, but what is the goal? So does that mean that this protest is going to go on until the change fully happens? Is this going to go on for a week more? Is it going to go on for 6 months more? Are black people and anyone else considered as a minority going to just say, you know what? I refuse to go to work. I refuse to feed into the system if it's not going to respect me. And then what you have that is Whole Foods can't move. Target can't move. I mean, nobody can move. Who's going to drive the buses? Who's going to drive business forward, period? You know what I'm saying? You can be up in the executive office, but if you don't got people working for you, you're in a house of cards, basically. So that's what I want to know. I want to hear from the people, like, what is the solution? Because I don't think it's Parliament. I don't think so, because Parliament is structured on the unfairness of so what they call African Americans, which are just Americans anyway, like the 13th Amendment, so like Josie was saying, which is a great point, like we got to create our own piece of parliament and say this is from us and this needs to be ordained as law, as truth, for protection of us, because of the fact that this prior constitution was not effective in that. You understand what I'm saying? So, and people had enough,
It's like people. It's just like we all people, right? Like we all people, we all humans. It's like it just comes to the problem is that some people don't like to be around certain people. They look a certain kind of way, like.
That's
Like you can't. It's like if that's the case, then you're gonna have to move people to where they want to be, where they can be together. Like that's all it is. Like if this have to be, nobody's saying that I want segregation. You know what I'm saying? But like people don't get along. There's a guy who's jogging, doing his exercise, and a guy comes and shoot him, because that tells you that they just don't want to see that around where they live. When then give the people that don't have nothing, give them somewhere to live and to stay, and everybody could be kind of happy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
You can't force people to be around people together. Like you can't force people. They start fighting against each other. That's where you need a referee and stuff in between so they can mediate.
Jesus, man.
So I don't know, bro. But I know one thing for sure. I do know that people are not getting along. Maybe later on, maybe little by little we can work our way up there. You know what I'm saying? But also there's a generational problem also going on, where the ones that came from a generation before they've been hockey programmed more into more racism, and then now things are changing, and those people are still programmed that way, and they fighting back. So
they're fighting the change.
Yeah.
Get exposed a little bit too, and it's not looking too good, because it's like, you look bitter, you look a little bit more bitter, because you got everything that you need. This person is not trying to rob you or fighting with you, calling you names, and you still start in trouble. So
we live in a different country right now, I think.
Yeah, these times are a little bit strange, man. It sometimes it breaks my heart just to see that people can't even get along like that. They're just so much violence. I'm all for humanity. I try to do as much as I can, Try to bring people together, try to do something good each and every day. I'm always pushing in that way. I don't know how to say, like, where I'm from, we come from a very large blended family, so it was very natural just to everybody just be everybody. That was back in my hometown of Henderson. Now in Las Vegas, it was that old mentality. It's that older generation because, you have these other cities around, and it's like you have to wait for that generation to like move out, but stop them, like educating their children, in their beliefs, because, times are moving and we're all coming together, and we're trying to come together and trying to push this, and I just don't understand why there's such a negative outlook on this when we're just keep moving and trying to stay together, I mean, where do you think it all starts from? To me, I think it all starts from private prisons. That's one of the things. You got these private prisons where they have to have a certain percentage of a capacity. So if they don't, the local government has to pay like a fine or something to them if they're not keeping it at that capacity. That's hard to like think about, and that's why we have such a huge populated prisons in the world. I mean, you privatized everything. Everything is out of greed as well, and nobody's looking at each other. They look at each other, by face value and not by like their soul.
Yes. I mean, like the protest that's been going on, there's been every single race in those protests, brother. There's been it's not just one race that is protesting.
Oh, I know.
There's everybody out there. You got Asians, you have white, you have Latinos, you have black, you have, every mother and their father is out there. So it looks like back in the day, I think there wasn't enough traction because of...
Bro, that is just proof that we're just a human race. That's it. It. When you have that melange, and they're all coming together, what does that tell you? We're all the same. It's all the same. It's a human race. That's it.
Right. You
just got some people who don't want to get off that. They don't want to get off that high horse. They don't want to be considered equal. You understand? Because it's like an egotistical like power thing. Because number one, they can't just admit that this country, the way it was built, it was a good idea, but they did it the wrong way, okay? By oppressing someone to get to that goal, as opposed to working together to get to that goal. So until they admit that enslaving these people and having them do this labor for 400 years and not compensating them at all, that's the root of the problem, because that's where it all started. And then years went by and things happened, like Rodney King, like Malcolm X and Martin Luther, and then you got this George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. But George Floyd was like, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, because that was just the complete disrespect of broad daylight. Like, I have no consideration for your existence, Like, I'm gonna put my knee on your neck and I'm gonna put my hand in my pocket, while I'm looking at the camera, straight faced, And it's just, imagine yourself being in that situation, man. That's like such a disgraceful death.
I mean, we saw murder on camera, like that was first degree.
Absolutely, 100%. Public execution.
So how can we respect murder now if you let him get away? We can't leave people that get away with murder. So now it's making people be like, well, I'm gonna commit murder too, because that, that's setting a bad example right there for everybody to do. You can't get away with murder. So
But you got to understand that these guys are charged. They're not convicted. You know, things can change, and
There
that's
should be no trial.
Yeah, it happened in 1992. You know, the
There's
officers
no
were
trial.
charged.
There's
and
video
then
evidence.
They were acquitted, so they were never convicted. So you know, everybody's hoorahing right now because people are getting charged, but you know, wait for the convictions to come through. You know, that's where it is.
That's what you go crazy about.
Yeah, and that's how LA was on fire after that conviction where all of them got acquitted.
The Ronnie King,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Rodney King. Yeah, I was 13 at that time, in 1992.
92.
Yeah,
Man, I was
it got
4.
so bad. I mean, even my parents were like, "Yeah, don't go to school, you know, this week." It was getting bad out there, you know. It was like because we lived close to LA. We were in Las Vegas, so it's only a couple hours, and it's like when something happens when it's close, it feeds into, you know, like Arizona, Las Vegas, you know, just surrounding big cities, metropolitan cities, you know, and you know, I seen it where everybody stands together, but you know, seeing the cities on fire, that was a different thing. And just as what's going on now, the peaceful protests, I went out there last Sunday. Last Sunday, I was in the area in Bayside because they said Bayside got looted and everything else. I parked right there on the Sunday night, grabbed my camera gear. I just wanted to see what's happening, you know, because I saw the police with the riot gear lined up right then and there. And it's posted online too, on one of my accounts. And here comes the protesters coming from one street. They just walked all the way through. And as they walked through, there was cop cars coming the other way, zooming down the street. It was like more of an intimidation act, you know. That's what I was seeing the whole time. And but nothing was being thrown, nothing was bad. But, you know, I left early in the night, but you could tell they were just walking through. They're just going down the street, you know, doing a peaceful protest, and then all of a sudden you got a curfew. You know, things ain't right. I don't think that's right to set a curfew, you know, for doing something that is in our right to do. I think that's wrong. And it's
I agree with you.
trying to punish everybody. It's intimidation. That's what it is. The government is trying to say, hey, look, I can do whatever I want.
To switch up the beaches from being open to being closed.
Yeah.
You know, that was nuts. What does the beach have to do with protesting, you know?
Yeah.
Or rioting. So, but hopefully, you know, we're going to come out of this thing much better. I think we'll have to anyway, because that's just the process of evolution, right? And right now, it's like, is the acting world, is it active right now? Is it...
Yeah, it is. Well, you know, I also do the independent acting. So independently, we're not waiting on studios. We're not waiting on casting directors, agents, and managers and stuff to send the word. I'm working now on. There's another short film that I directed that Jason. I did 2 short films with him already, and he sent me for. We're working on another one now, on the 3rd one, trying to get going. And as far as like studios and stuff like that, that's on hold though.
Oh, so the movie business is not moving at all.
They're not moving much because they gotta wait on the big sayers. They gotta wait on the big names to open it up. You gotta get permits and stuff like that.
It's a good time for you to practice.
Yeah, that's what I guess that's one thing I've been doing. Also working on my monologues, reading a lot, and just studying. You know, just studying. Staying ready. Yeah, staying ready. I kind of send out some stuff already to some people that I wanted them to see of the stuff I've been working on. Just nothing to promote, just something I've been, you know, on my own.
Do you have any movies that you've been in that are like released so that people can find if they wanted to look at your work?
The one I got on my link on my Instagram, Devils Courier, I did.
What's your Instagram?
It's Jafet Perez.
Jafet Perez with Z.
You just look it up. It'll be there. And it's a link that goes on YouTube. There's another film that I got that we had a Zoom meeting for it, but it's going through film festivals first and shit. The guy goes, they want to see it first. They don't want you to show it to nobody.
Hey, Jafet, I got a quick question. As for your speaking skills, how do you practice your speaking skills? Do you do like a lot of improv, like impromptus?
Yeah, I guess improv is definitely part of the game. Improv is being quick wit with your delivery. It's being projecting too. It's also part of the game.
Right.
Shit. Like I knew that I had I knew that my voice was kind of stern. It was a stern kind of voice that I have, and I knew that I always like to kind of fully express myself. You know, there's also, like I said, it's public speaking and it's dialect, taking dialect classes. I have to go myself still, because Spanish, I spoke Spanish was my first language.
Oh wow, okay.
First, before I ever spoke English. So then, so I would still go to a dialect class, going to dialect classes and learn a speech class, so you can help you out. Because we sometimes don't know how we sound across, you know, sort of like that stain on your shirt that you don't see that somebody else points out. Like it's part of that. You think that you mastered it, or you have a specific way of doing it, but you have to let some other people listen to it, so they can give you the feedback that you.
Right. I remember going to school, between 2008 to 2012. I did Toastmasters for 2 years straight, just because I was going to school for business. So this whole Toastmasters club, everybody shows up, and you got public speakers, you got people who work in so many different industries. They just come in, tell a story. They have to just keep going on that story, and it got to be pretty fun because you could pick anything out and just keep going with it. It was great. I mean, I love to do it all the time. I even do it at home. I'll just start talking about something or whatever it is.
So we do that amongst our friends all the time. We do.
Yeah.
It's just when you're put into the moment, though. When the lights is on you, can you do that?
Right.
Like that's the only difference, and that's the threshold that you have to get over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get that, that's it, bro. It's all it, man. We all got potential to doing that. We do it all the time, yo. We do it all the fucking time, yo. Being in a class and nobody want to raise their hand and speak up what they want to say, and then it's like, yo, what you have to say is very important. You didn't even know that, everybody was gonna start agreeing with what you had to say.
Right.
Some of that comes from that also. That fear. It's fear also. That's another topic, the fear. We have a lot of fear about things that we never confront, yo. We never confront our fears,
Right.
It holds us back so much, yo. It holds us back a lot.
Right. And a lot of people have a lot of fear of public speaking too. They will not talk in front of a group.
And it's very difficult for a lot of people, especially you notice that in school.
Yeah. It's not easy. No, it's not. Because the minutes you see somebody look at you the wrong way, or, you
get rattled.
It's so much that could throw you off your game.
Right.
It's sort of like my teacher was always say, it's like performing naked. It's like you're naked in front of a crowd.
Right.
And you don't care what this person is looking at.
Right.
I think it's if you can see through the crowd, right? Instead of looking at the crowd specific faces, if you can just see the macro of the crowd and see through it and focus what you're trying to do there. What's your whole point being there? If you can deliver that well, then you start really seeing how people react to your performance. But most of the time it's a quality grade, like you were saying. But I think that definitely helps when you're able to kind of psych yourself out in your mind and just visually focus in your head what that goal is. And I think that's what you got to do.
Bigger picture,
Right. No picture, no goal. No goal, no plan, no guidance, no beacon. It's like being in the ocean and you're sailing for years, never touch land.
and being in the moment, practice a lot of that, bro. Like, you know, Albert, you know me somewhat know me. You know, I think I always struggle with over those things they were talking about. I always struggle with that shit. I was always, because I was always felt judgmental, like people were judgmental, and that kind of pushed me back a little bit. You know, made me.
You thought people were judgmental of what, like in general?
In general, yeah, just I think, yeah, in general, just maybe the smallest things was throwing me off my game, bro. That somebody would say, all this simple shit, they would just throw me off my game, and that was I was always the kid. I was always the kid that was in my mind too much.
That's good, but usually it's a problem for a lot of people.
I'm always in my thoughts, like. And then when I want to say something, I'll say it in the middle of my teeth. You know, I won't really say it with confidence or some shit like that. I won't really. I don't know. It'll be whispered. You know, it'll be right. Than spoken, and that always hurted me. That always hurted. I guess it helped me become the person I am now.
Well, you know what? I actually have a question. So. When you were feeling like that, you realized also what kind of people you were around, right? Now, you ever notice like if you read a few books, you know, you do your research, you familiarize with stuff, like you see how more comfortable you are when you have a conversation about that with somebody. You know, it's the same thing like with yourself, you know, like. Yo, the site that starts in here. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that's outside of us is inside. You know what I'm saying? So that means you got something to learn about everything that's gonna relate to yourself. You know? So like when you stop just the same habits, like the activities, you know, when you start branching out, doing different stuff, like you got the bicycle. Look how much more you were able to see with that, you know. You were doing like a lifeguard at the pool at the like penthouse level, right? Look at the view that you got from that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like an awareness of life, and when you start learning that not institutional education, but like educating yourself, like as a well-mannered man, like that thing that Robert pointed earlier, the collection of books I have, they're called How to Be a Gentleman. Like those are not books for like, I'm gonna be a pushover, I'm gonna be a carpet. No, those are books for you to be like a polished man. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like, no one can. If someone's gonna step to you, it's only for something positive. You know, like no one's gonna be able to, you know, they're not going to be able to negate what you represent ever, because it's like that those books, that's like that guide to solidarity. You know what I'm saying? Like being fully confident, you know, knowing who you are. You know, once that's covered, you can speak in any room you want. You can say whatever you want. At that point, it's not about what people think of you. You know, because like Tim Grover said today, like Michael Jordan is not thinking about what you think about him. He doesn't care about what you think about him. He's focused on what he wants to do. And that happens with Kobe. That happens with anybody. You know, Elion's not thinking about, oh, all these people want me to fail. He doesn't care about that. He's thinking about, yo, this is what I got to go do. Oh, that's what I got next. Oh, I got to go address that. Oh, I got to go do that. You know, like he's not thinking about failure because he's not looking for it. So it's not going to come. It's not. And if it does, that's a lesson. But majority, he's not going to fail. You know what I'm saying? Because he's looking for success. He's acting in success. You know what I'm saying? He's moving forward. And you're doing that. And we're all trying to do that. You
put yourself with a team. You progress with a team. Everybody has a talent to bring to the team. You progress. And that's what we're doing here today. You know, I'm in the digital space. AJ, he's in the real estate. And we have our camera guy who is all in the video and audio. We have a musician, you know, we have
producer,
graphic designers. we got it all here. And we have a team with brilliant minds that we came together as one and said, you know what, we got something good going. You know, everybody puts in their expertise and it just progresses.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't have to understand what everybody does, but we move forward as a unit.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's very important. I don't want to cut anybody off, but I want to say something real foundational right now. All right. To me, I think it's really important to know your role.
Yeah.
Like in the entirety of the word, it's important to know your role. Because once you know your role, you know who to be around, who to surround yourself with. You can recognize what role they're doing, and they also know what their role is. So that mutual understanding, that's like connecting one light bulb to another. Now we got two. Now understand what I'm saying? That's wattage.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you get a full circuit moving. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get ideas going. Like think of Dude Perfect. Like these guys, right? They're throwing like basketballs from unimaginable distances and doing it and all. Like it's a collection of dudes. Friends is a collection of people. Like it takes more than one person.
Definitely.
So, and I think working like this with each other, not only do you progress individually, but also collectively you learn. You know what I'm saying? So the next time you're gonna go to an audition, your subconscious is gonna have this conversation going through it. This is part of your DNA now, whether you like it or not. You gotta shut off your screen if you don't want it to be. But this conversation is already, we're water. You know what I'm saying? This is permeating through the cells right now. This is gonna be in there for a little while. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta recognize that you want to be around people that it's not a separation thing, but you want to be people that are on that level. You know what I'm saying? We're not looking to judge each other. We're not looking to compare each other. We're actually here to amplify and identify each other's uniqueness and strengths. Forget the weaknesses. The weaknesses, that's your homework. That's not my business. My weaknesses are my homework. That's no one else's business. You understand? And that goes for everyone across everything. You know what I'm saying? But the important thing that you did is that you identified your weaknesses. So you already got 2 steps ahead of the game. You understand? So once you do that, once you work on those, you're solid. Then it just becomes playtime. Then it becomes creation time. You understand? Because there's nothing, now you're at 0. When you get your weaknesses, it's like that -50. It's like the progress don't go like this. That's not how it goes. It goes like this. Mm-hmm. Just like the stock market, morons. All right? Yeah. That's progress over time. And that's life. You know what I'm saying? That's life. Period.
Yeah.
So get you a woman that's going to hang with you through the ups and the downs, like I got, like he got, like anyone else that's looking for that. You understand? That's how you grow. And that's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, no, that's well said, bro. That's very well said. Yeah.
And I hope New York comes back to normal, man, because that's a special place. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so. So, I think it will. It will. I think eventually it will soon. There's too much people, like, there's been too much shit here. Like, so much to happen with 9/11 and with some shit. Like, they're built tough. I think they're built tough enough.
Yeah. But another thing is that we got to keep progressing forward, too. There's a lot of hang-ups in the world and things that can hold us back. We got to be with it, but we got families as well, So always pushing forward and marketing yourself and, what your business is, or because there is no work right now, That's the crazy thing right now. There is no work. And I'm seeing a lot of people now. It's like, I feel so bad right now. It's like, what can I do? What can I do to try to help somebody, And the one thing that we got right now is a voice. We have a voice. We put everybody together, give people an opportunity. You know.
That's the goal.
We got the power to push ourselves now. You know, we can't. Like I always preach too that you got to promote yourself more than somebody else will. You have to love yourself. You have to push yourself. You have to invest in yourself more than somebody else will. You know, those are all of the things that I took. It took time for me to learn that nobody's gonna want it as much as you are, and it's people who meet you halfway. They don't meet you in the beginning, anyways. You know what I'm saying? They wait to the shit. Some don't even meet you halfway. They wait for you to get to the top. And actually try to come and fuck with you, you know. So those are all things too.
But you know, now this world, everything's going digital, right? Everybody, they're right there on their phone or right there behind a computer. Everybody's home now, you know. But it's the gratification. But you know, one of the things that helps everybody right now, just like the influencers, you know, influencers, they find one platform and, you know, and they're blowing up. They're trying to do their modeling and push product and everything else. You know, like another way of getting out there is doing like short film and, you know, broadcast it, you know, do some advertising and marketing with it. You got to find like that niche where people are searching right now where they can find you, because that's what they're doing right now. They're trying to find people that they could work with right now. Everybody's trying to find somebody right now, either some product, some service, or a person, you know, whether it be a model, an actor, or, you know, any kind of service out there. They're looking at right there online. So marketing yourself online is like huge, but you can never rely like on one platform.
Do you have an agent?
Right now, no. I'm working on my manager right now. I got like 2-3 guys that I'm working with.
You have like 2-3 guys. So how do you get jobs? Like how do you get gigs?
They get the information. They get the audition first. They pretty much get the work first, and then they pass it down to whoever they feel like is capable, qualifies for that role. You know, depending on, of course, the criteria, how you look, and the age, and all that stuff plays a role.
Hold on, I gotta take this call real quick. Hold on a second. Ricky, how you doing?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
Nothing. I'm waiting for my wife. She's conference call with some people. So when she gets off, I'll talk to her. But I'm excited. So 365 is good. I think let me talk to her. But I think she should say okay. We should agree on that. So that's it.
That's right, baby. I got you 35,000 off.
Yeah, it's awesome, bro. So, but it's a lock, right?
It's a lock. It's done deal. I told you, Navy SEAL out.
All right. So here's the question then. So going forward, just so I know. So 365, we're gonna put I don't want to put like 5% down on the retainer. There's no reason to do 10%. You know what I mean? We're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Just in case, God forbid, something happens or whatever. Put 5% down.
The money's gonna be protected, brother. It's not a problem.
Yeah, but so then what's the difference? Put 5%. I'm weird like that.
Okay. But I'll just let you know that the seller might think you're not serious. So don't be surprised if he's like, hey, up it up. I'm just giving you the precedence. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah, I don't want to do 20. I think the last time we were thinking 20. No, 10%. 5 to 10%. Do 5. If he says anything, we'll go to 10, all right? And then so what's the next thing then? So we put in escrow. So what happens? You're going to send me the contract. I'll call you back and tell you it's a go.
All right, you got it.
All right. So once I call you back, what's the next step?
The next step, baby, is I got the inspection going. I got the title agency for you, and we're closing in 30 days or less.
Okay. The only thing with the closing, that's fine. My only concern is, God forbid, with this escalation with the COVID or some shit, where the flights are canceled or there's a quarantine, you have to put something in the contract where it says, contingent that, like, pending that it's, that I'm able to travel because of,
You don't have to be here for the closing due to the current circumstances.
Oh, we could do it online?
Yeah, we can do it digital, we can do it virtual. Don't worry, I got you, baby pop.
Oh, shit! Yes, kids!
That's what I like. Happy clients. Happy clients. I'm on my podcast episode right now, but...
All right, so, go. What are you watching?
I'm on my podcast episode right now.
All right, go. I'll talk to you later.
All right, brother.
I'll call you later.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Done. And that's how you do what you like.
Yes, indeed.
That's it.
That's what's up.
But they don't teach you that at school. They'll be like, go be a bank teller, go be a cop, go be this, go be that. I gotta sit my ass in the same spot for 9 hours? No way. So we're gonna define our lives. We choose to define our lives. And we'll take the scrutiny. We don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, it's if there's any way that you can get more gigs, tell us. How can you pick up traction in your industry? How can we help that?
Right now, that's a good question. That's a real good question. That's what I'm saying, because it's like the manager and the cast, they have that. It would be the independent. Like if you hear any more like more like directors, movie directors and writers. Like those directors and writers is the ones that I aim for more.
Directors and writers. Okay. Because even in those private films, there's something in there for you.
Yeah.
Right? In all films.
Yeah.
Have you checked with the New York Film Academy?
Yeah, I checked with them before. I did check with them before. They have their thing also going on. They downtown. I have to. I've been planning to get involved with. I have to get involved with another type of family, another type of group of family that I can get involved with.
That they need to be in the industry, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good too, though. They're pretty good New York film family. But also it's finding, because you can do those things on your, like if you can find that guy, like you said, like you have a sound guy there, right, and you have the editor, and you find these people that are like those people are good on their own. But once they come together, those forces come together. Like y'all gonna make something good that pay attention to. That's all you have to do, is just finding the right people that know what they're doing. You don't have to pay to a school to be around those people. That some of them are not even that good. They just.
Right.
Once I found that out, I was like, oh, I know how this goes, kind of. I know. I'm not necessarily on the outside looking in. I'm kind of like, I know what I've been in the inside. I kind of know now, like, what is it that I need to look for.
Right. You're gradually like finding your path in there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Is it important to have a website?
Well, the websites are only good usually for selling something. You know what I mean? Right. Like if you got commerce, you're selling product. It's because we have social media. We have so many platforms to push yourself.
Right.
They got specific actors. Also another way to get roles is Actors Access. They have a website called Actors Access. And they have another one called Backstage. It gives you there's good roles there.
Right.
A website, you can have a website, but all you need is the link for your reel, your actor's reel, and your headshots.
Do you think if somebody managed like a digital presence for you, you would get more business?
Not necessarily. No. Because I got that. You know what I mean? I got that. I could do that personally as far as social media, or having my own bio in my Actors Access. You can have
right.
And I have all your roles. That's more for I think that's more for like if you're a writer or like a producer or things like that. It's good. Not for the actor. It's not really gonna help them that much. A website.
What do you think about getting into international film, like going to France and doing some movies there?
I've been getting a lot of looks like, yo, France. People ask me, do I know France? I know some converse in France, like small, like simple talk I could do with France and stuff like that. But that's also I will have
some French.
Yeah, French. There's also some roles in there that I can do also with that. You're right about that. I would love to do that. Yeah, I would love to do it. Spanish speaking also. I will also do some roles with that also. Like I just did for a guy who's doing a music video. He wanted me to do like a voiceover.
But what's the best part about you being an actor learning languages? All you need to do is know how to read it. Because if you know how to read it, you know how to articulate it out loud, obviously, and that's it. It's not like you need to know what you're saying, you know? You just need to know the cues. So the French thing is very possible, man. And I think I can help you with that. But
yeah, I would definitely. It would have to be something that I would It would have to be something specific that once they give me something that I need to do.
tell you what. Go to a French audition, right? Get the script. Zoom with me, and I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna recite it to you what it says. Master that. Record yourself reading that, or I'm gonna record myself reading that for you. You're gonna practice that, and then you're gonna go back to that French audition, and you're gonna handle it like a boss and see how they react to you sounding French. You understand?
That would be very helpful.
For sure, no problem. No problem. You understand?
I had some people. There's one guy was teaching me some French, and it was helpful. It was very helpful.
Yeah. Listen, the best way to learn a language is you got to live in that country for like a month. A month is good. That's it, you know?
I would probably put the radio on.
Yeah. You start learning like accents and stuff. If you ever, if you want some music to get used to, very good. Her name is Edith Piaf. Edith Piaf. EDITHPIAF. Dude, this woman, her voice was the same from the age of 18 to the age of 70. And this woman had such a amazing voice. And when she came out, was during like World War I or II. So I think World War II. So it was very like, relevant to that time. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like somebody, you're like feeling the vibe of the time through this lady's voice. And it's like, shit, man. That doesn't sound like they were having it's like, it sounds very it's like a passionate hurt, because it's like, man, this what's happening right now is not good for the world,
Right.
And you felt it through the music. But she'll help you with French a lot, I promise.
International films, I watch a lot. I watch a lot of, the stuff that they feed us is you're not gonna learn that way. Like, you're not gonna learn from like watching freaking like a movie with The Rock.
You watch The Untouchables with the guy in the wheelchair?
No, I haven't seen that one though.
What? That's an international film. That's French.
That's probably gonna be on my radar too.
Bro, that movie is amazing. The lesson is ridiculous in that movie. Check it out. Trust me, check it out.
I felt like I saw it before though, honestly, bro. Like, I feel like...
No, there's a movie that goes along that storyline, but it's not the exact same thing. This is in French, dude. The whole thing's in French. And it's very interesting.
I'm surprised. I know I saw it before, but I don't remember it that much.
You probably don't remember, yeah. Great movie, though. Great movie.
That's Brian Palmer. Brian De Palma.
Yeah.
The one who did Carlito's Way.
Oh, he's the one who directed that?
Carlito's Way. He did Carlito's Way.
Oh, okay. With Diddy.
He did a lot of films. It's good.
So, I'm going to throw in a little bit of something on the digital space, because I remember AJ was sitting here, he was talking about the website and how actors or somebody like in your industry doesn't need that. But see, in the world of like search engines, I mean, there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that are searching for services, products, or the people that they just want to look up. And it's like nowadays with everything going to digital, just being able to be searched up and have somewhere to lead people to, it's all about just branding yourself, because you're not having to sell a product, you're selling yourself, and that's what we have to do. In any industry, you don't make anything until you're selling something, and you've got to be selling yourself. You sell your services, you sell your music, but everything that's going to digital, everybody's searching for somebody, and having like a profile where like short films and photography and all this other stuff, but even like a nice bio, because majority, what's it like 80-something%, 83% of people are now using their mobile phones. So if you had a site that and it was mobile optimized, you know, just giving people something to watch or create an audience, because, you know, even people who are looking for other specific, you know, demographic in your industry, you know, what you speak, how tall you are. I mean, I notice these things all the time. Remember I was telling you about that concert I was watching?
Yeah.
How Shakira's girls are like the same height, and then J-Lo's are like the same height. And then they had them all together. I was like, oh, crap. So, like, in any industry like that, but people are looking for the specifics, and they're looking for, like, the services, products, or even the person. So, having that is like having a brand awareness. It'd be huge for you. It's just giving you visibility, organic visibility, that you don't even have to pay for ads or anything. It's just, if you like to write, you know, you write some stuff on there, you know, what it is that you do, what it is you specialize in, because everybody's looking for that. Everybody's looking for that. There's a niche for every single thing out there. And that would,
I had the website, then I kind of scratched it, but I might consider it having it back up. But I got some new materials and stuff I can put up there.
Yeah, because like even these days, you got to just jump on it, because if you're not doing it, somebody else is doing it. You know, in the digital world, it moves fast. So like I always tell everybody, you know, stay on it, stay consistent. During the whole COVID, my clients, I told them, I said, hey, look, some of them that are non-essential, where their business completely had to shut down, I said, don't even pay, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna carry you through it, because I can control the digital space like that. But to keep them relevant, so when things did get passed, they were right back where they were, you know, because they stayed relevant. And you have to stay relevant no matter what, even during times of COVID, even during times of another recession. You never want to stop that campaign of being consistent out there. That's what you're going to get, that visibility.
And that's very important, but I think a lot of people just they're not aware of that, and that's why they're not doing it.
Yeah, I agree with that. You're right about that, brother. You head on, Rob. What was it? Robert.
Robert.
Yeah. You head on with that one. Yeah.
We can help him with that, right? This is Josie, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
He's always giving us a good input and insight during the show, and we would love to help you with that. So, but the person who's the expert in this would be Robert. I would be more so like a person I can make phone calls, you know. Yeah. I can get people on the phone. I can convince them to give you a shot. You know, that's not a problem. But it's just about, you know, you got to give him the knowledge of what is it that he's attacking, and then he knows how to create what needs to be done to catch their attention. And then that's where you do your thing. So.
Right. And where I come in, I've worked with a lot of photographers as well. So putting together like a website for photographers to make it, the aesthetic design that keeps people engaged, right? But you gotta fill it out, complete it for the Google bots as well. You know, it's got to make it friendly for people, make it friendly for a Google bot. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I work up with Miami SEO Man out here. And I mean, he's doing a great job at doing all of this. So I say, if you want to reach out to us, you know, we could partner up on this and help you gain that visibility that you really need. You know, find your target market, who are the people who are actually looking for you. You know, that's what it comes down to. It pre-qualifies everybody, because when you have that information on your site about you and what you do, you're already pre-qualifying people, because those are the ones that are going to search that specific project or task or what it is that you know or do.
Mm-hmm. And you amplify that.
Right.
Yeah, Jafet. And I know. Go ahead. I mean, I know you were going to say something, but let me see.
Yeah.
I know that it's like kind of a slow time with everything happening. So it's a real good time, like, you know, I don't have to tell you. I mean, it's a good time for you to just put in that practice and stay prepared as if the best role is coming tomorrow. You know, I don't have to tell you that, but it's just about getting this energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I haven't seen you, I haven't talked to you in so long, and kind of just having this exchange right now, getting that energy, like where you're on that path, I'm on my path, he's on his path, you know, and we all have our setbacks and we all have our triumphs, you know, but it's just like about feeding off this energy and telling each other like, keep freaking going, just keep going, you know. I know there's days that be looking real bleak, real dark, you know, and no one is there with you to experience that. You know, like no one can go in your brain with you and sit there and be like, man, this is some shit, you know, like it's you inside your head. So it's like you need to be speaking to the right people. You need to spend the right amount of time with yourself and the right amount of time on your craft. And then aside from that, it's like the exercise, you know, eating well, you know, just setting your mind to beautiful things, you know, like just in general, like just doing that alone just brings that, like that feeling that you're worthy of abundance, you know, like you're aware of the beauty that's in the world. And you're like, yo, this is what I want. Like, yes, you know, and that energy comes in and you're ready to rock and roll, you know. But it's a time for individuality. At the same time, it's a time for unity, and I think like we're all trying to do that right now. And I appreciate you coming on the show and giving us your own personal account. You know, because someone out there, if they're not already, they'll try to be an actor like you wanted to be. You know, and I remember you before you were doing this. And to witness the process, the progress, you know, it's an amazing thing, you know, because it's like you are allowing someone to believe, you understand, that it can happen, because it's like you live in it, you know, and so people need to know more about these kinds of stories, you know what I'm saying, that you don't gotta come from, it's irrelevant where you come from, everything about you, to be honest with you, everything about you, from the hat to your skin to your clothes to where you're at right now, is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is that you are driven to do whatever it is that you do. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, you can't test that, you know? So we really appreciate you coming on the show. We thank you for your personal account. And we know that, like, you know, I would definitely expect that you're far from done. You got a lot more to do, got a lot more to go, but you're in the right direction, you know? And keep improving. And I think Robert can definitely help with the digital side, because that's just the direction that everything's moving. Even if you don't have to have a crazy website, but you got to have something digital that's like aimed towards anyone who's coming in that computer looking up something that relates to acting, male, and whatever genre you want to partake in. You know,
it's almost like the SEO is the necessary evil that every business needs to have in the digital space right now. That's what's been created. You want brand awareness, you have to have SEO. It's like the only thing that's pushing everybody to get their traffic, because I mean, even if you build a nice, beautiful website, it's just gonna sit there like just lights are off. You know, you gotta maintain it, keep it going, and that's what builds the brand, builds a person. You know, and so reach out to me. Or no, actually, I'll get your contacts. I got AJ over here. I'll get your contacts. I'm gonna reach out to you and let me put something together. I'm gonna work with Miami SEO Man on this and see what we could do for you. You know, because what we want to do is we want to help anybody out there in any industry that it is. See, we could tackle it from every single side, especially the digital side. Because I mean, business is our lifeblood. That's what we speak. That's what we know, and that's how we progress. So we always want to help anybody it is that comes through. So, you know, we're gonna collaborate and try to build up your brand, build you up right there. So whatever people are searching for, they can find you.
Yeah. I look forward to working with you guys, man.
Now listen, I mean, our whole intention is we want to help people. It's not about money at all. We're not even asking for anything. What we're trying to do is understand if we really see how things are able to work better. Like that's the experiment that Rob conducts on a daily basis. And in terms of me, from when I come in, if you decide for me to come in anyway, it's more about someone being able to sell you, because you can't sell yourself. You're the product. The product don't speak. The clerk does. So having someone being able to represent you, whether it's publicly or in speaking arrangements or in negotiation, you need that. And you need people who have your self-interest in mind primarily, and then second of all, that they know what your goals are, and at the end of the day, brother, it's like I wanna help you propel your career and progress. So let's see what we can do.
Get it going, man. Let's get it going.
Yeah, and you stay safe in Harlem over there. I hope everything goes well for the family.
I will, man. I will, y'all. Thank you for having me, y'all. For real, I appreciate it.
Anytime, Jafet. Rob, anything?
No, that's it. Jafet, have a great rest of the weekend, and just have fun out there. Live.
Yo, brother, work on your craft and study the best. You're gonna get there. Don't worry about it. You got it.
We'll talk later.
This is Miami Unlocked. Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening.